The Kill Team Casuals are back. We're here. We've got 2.5 members today as Ben's running on half a tank of gas, but he's here because that's how much and how excited he is to talk about Kill Team Typhon. G'day to Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. Thanks for trooping on, mate.
I just couldn't stand the thought of you guys talking crap about me while I wasn't here. I'm only talk crap about me in my presence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's gonna
just do it. As long as do it in my presence, just not behind my back. Speaking of behind the back, passing it behind the back over to Russ from GFN Gaming, alley-ooping it.
Dribbling it through the legs, side shot back to Reese, the only one of us that I guess that plays basketball. Is he going to fumble the ball?
We could take
He
it.
did. He fumbled it. Wow,
Okay, well,
what a joke!
I was excited. I was looking at rules. I was excited. I didn't realize there'd be basketballs. I wasn't ready, guys.
Who's your favorite basketball player, Reese?
Ooh,
I'm gonna derail this thing right from the start.
Yeah,
I
never
feel
talked
bad.
I mean,
I'm gonna make sure everybody else feels bad too.
Well,
who's your favorite basketball player?
It's easy right now because it's I support Denver, the Denver Nuggets, so it's the Joker himself is easy. That's easy. But I do like
Who even is that? I don't even know who the Joker is.
I don't know.
Well, that was the best derailing ever because you couldn't.
We got
carry
Scottie
on with
Pippen, Scottie Pippen from Sandon, from the old Chicago Bulls. A hot run.
Oh, geez. There we go. G'day. Speaking of, g'day to everyone in the chat. The chat is kicking right off as well. We love to see it. We've got Thomas in there. We've got Six-Sided Paradise. We've got...
Do you know who I like?
Yes. Hello. Who do you like? Tell
like
us exactly
Shaq.
who you like.
I like Shaq because of the film. Didn't he do Steel? Was it when he played the... Do you remember that character? It was basically Superman, but was Steel. I don't really understand
metal
the character. Yeah, it was just like, I don't know if there's any DC fans. What is he just literally a mix between Thor and Superman and Iron Man?
So
is he like?
So I'll have you know, I believe his name was Henry Johnson or something like that.
Holy smokes!
And he had
Joker,
he had cancer.
I think you know.
Yeah. And so I'm fuzzy on the details.
Stop saying you believe.
We
know you watched it last night.
He had. I think he had cancer. No, because this is a character.
Don't bring the mood down.
And so I've actually never seen the Shaquille O'Neal steal.
Have you not?
But the character, the history of the character, is I believe he had cancer, and this suit is keeping him alive and also fighting his cancer, and then also giving him superpowers. And then he really comes into the play in the Death of Superman. In the Death of Superman story, multiple Supermans come together, to stay in his stead while Clark Kent, is dead and rejuvenating.
Before he comes back
steps
in the black suit with the beard.
Oh, the best. Yeah, and he's and a hot take for you. Steel Superman, one of the coolest Supermans of all time. What an underrated character and design and idea. So cool. Love it. Freaking love it.
Not a great film, but
Go hell, Reese.
You know what?
We're talking about Steel Superman now.
Do you know who else I like? That is kind of like a rip-off kind of... I don't know if you see it. Do you know Marvel? Do you know Beta Ray Bill? Or Beta Ray Bill? I think it's Beta Ray.
You know, Marvel sounds familiar. What is Marvel? Can you explain Marvel to me?
He's Horse
They
Thor.
run this town. He's Horse Thor. But he's got a better looking hammer.
Of course, Beta Ray
He's got like a ball pin hammer. I don't know why I like it.
Stormbreaker. And it's not a better hammer. It's a different hammer. I believe it's Stormbreaker.
Is it Stormbreaker? Yeah. How do you know so much?
I believe it's Stormbreaker.
I'm pulling this out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh, Beta Ray Bill. Oh yeah, I know him. I'm going to correct you on a few more things about this character." Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Does he have cancer too? I've been a nerd down as well.
No, he wasn't cancer, but I believe the origin of Thor. Donald, whatever. He might have been a cancer doctor. The origin
he was
of Thor,
a doctor, and he had a walking stick.
Yeah.
Arthur. No,
and he would tap the stick.
Yeah,
but it was Donald.
Curry's
it was Donald
Aquaman.
Something.
Yeah,
Arthur Curry's Aquaman. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Now I love nerd stuff, dude. Growing up, I was a big superhero guy.
I like it. I just didn't. I mean, I do like it a lot, but I didn't know you would just pull a Beta Ray Bill fact on us, dropping hot.
Let me Google. Let me make sure that it was Stormbreaker. Anyways, back over to you, Reese. Let me make sure that Beta Ray Bill's hammer.
The big hammer. It might be Stormbreaker.
Well, look,
is it made out of Urumel?
Ooh. All I wanted to say
It is
was
Stormbreaker. It is
There you go.
Stormbreaker. Yeah.
Welcome to Marvel Crisis Hour.
Yeah.
We are here talking all things comic book. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Great one.
Yep.
Love
Yeah.
that one.
Was
Anyway,
that DC?
that was DC, obviously.
That was
yeah.
DC.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Reese, I'm going to ask you before we get back on the kill team. What was obviously Spider-Man, but what was your favorite comic book when you were a kid and now?
I was a
Let me
big
guess.
X-Men,
Let me
X-Men
guess.
fan.
I want to
Okay,
guess.
wait.
I knew I was going to guess X-Men. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. It was X-Men. I was going to say X-Men.
Specifically-
Of course. You smell like
the
Are you Cyclops? Are you a Cyclops guy?
No,
Gambit.
no way.
Gambit,
Yeah, I was going to
man.
say
Come on.
Gambit.
We just see it. Okay.
No one actually
You guys,
likes Cyclops,
you're sort of like the
do they?
Cyclops. You're kind of like the Cyclops of this podcast. You know what I mean?
God,
Like,
just as I said, no
Is
one
that
likes
a
you're
diss?
kind of like the Cyclops. Yeah.
Oh, I can't tell if that's a diss. Like,
I just said no one
I
likes
always thought Cyclops was pretty cool.
he was cool,
But in the
he
way
was
that
so
somebody
horribly
has to-
represented in every film and everything. Basically.
Somebody has to be the one that keeps things on track. Somebody has to be the rules guy. Somebody has, you know what I mean? That way.
Try my
Somebody
best.
has to be the
Someone
cop of the podcast. You know what I
I
mean?
feel
Someone
he's
has to
Someone has
get
to
it
herd the
right.
cats.
Gray.
I empathize with him the most. I wanted to be Gambit, but I ended up Cyclops. Is that what's happening here?
You wanted to be the cool rule breaker, and then you
Yeah.
came on. You were like, God, there can't be three people who have no idea what's going on. I guess I'm.
There
I
can't
guess
be
I'm
three
Cyclops.
Gambits on the podcast.
Yeah.
And Six Sided Paradise just says, Reese, don't watch X-Men 97. I
Oh,
did,
no.
and I'm upset.
I
heard
haven't
it was
finished it.
good.
Does someone
I heard
die?
it was good.
No, it is
Does
really
Gambit
good,
die?
but things happen that will upset you.
I like the
within it.
original series.
Oh.
though, to be
Yeah,
fair.
because
Well,
I
where-
love the
excellent.
original. I
Like
grew up
that.
watching that, loved it,
Yeah.
and then this came out. I was like,
Dun,
yeah,
dun,
and then
dun, 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 dun,
just
dun.
for the
I
banger
saw-
intro.
X-Men's
I
some of
wanted-
the best. Yeah.
I spent a long time as a kid learning that on guitar, and I can't remember it now, and I wish I
Oh,
still
yeah.
could. Yeah, so good.
I could bust it out if I had a guitar.
What a
right now. I
riff,
could bust
you know
it
what I
out.
mean? Ooh,
Yeah.
love
I
it.
love it.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, we're 8 minutes in, and we've
X-Men.
spoken Ben's lack of basketball knowledge, and we've spoke about his a surprising amount of comic book knowledge. We've got
Yeah.
2 things today.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, big time.
What I've been trying to quickly get to is hello to Ulti Mentra and Robbie Nito. First time chatters, first time they've made it to the show.
Robbie Nito
live.
I didn't know
sounds like a
those
superhero
names.
alias.
It does,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like
Ro-
there was this
Robbie
guy
Nito.
that we used to know in, I can't remember, it was in like Leeds, and his name was something like Nick Knight, and it was such a like yeah, that's like a superhero name, Nick Knight.
Was Stanley his father? I think Stanley
Yeah.
was his father. Yeah.
It had to be, but yeah, I still think that was maybe a fake name, but who knows?
That's a good fake name. If you're gonna
It
pick
is a
one,
good one. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a good one.
I think Kraken's got a good name. I think Kraken's got a name that I think that would be a superhero name as well.
Oh yeah, the
Ulti
V's,
Mentra.
right? Double V's.
Best comment from
That was a good
from
one.
first timer starting. And look, if this wasn't live, I would have skipped this bullshit. Lol.
Yes, that's the kind
so
of
true.
energy that we're trying to bring to the Kill Team
Oh,
community.
love it.
Thank
I
you,
love it.
Ultimate.
I
You
can't
get
even
us.
I can't even see these messages, but yeah.
Yeah, that's because
True.
that's something we've got. Obviously, with the dual stream going, so we've got obviously that's over on the YT.
I'm gonna go over there so I
those
can
on
see the
there.
biting comments from these guys
Yeah,
as well.
that's where the hate's
yeah,
coming from
that's
at the
funny. Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
All right. What I think
That's
people
fantastic.
technically maybe, apart from to hear us get sidetracked, there has
Is
been
Storm
a new,
versus Magneto at the height
Yeah.
of their power? Who do you think would win?
Ooh,
Both Omega level mutants. No,
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say,
kidding. I'm
it's
just
a
kidding.
tough one.
Just
It's a
kidding.
tough one. What about
depends
Polaris?
if there's any
No,
metal
anyway.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many factors. Whoever
So-
writes it decides, basically.
Yeah.
Warhammer community has brought out an article. Gentlemen, look at me. Eyes here. Look at me.
Oh, my head hurts so bad.
And we're excited because we've been talking and whinging and saying we haven't heard much about Typhon for a long while, and we got a bit of a reveal of sorts of a certain amount of rules, and they did it in an interesting way. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time they've
Like
done this?
Pigeon.
They've invited Brad and Vic from Mountainside Tabletop to come and do like the
Oh,
early review.
yeah, pretty
they
cool.
They wrote this article, which
Oh,
is really
nice.
cool.
Yeah,
have they
I'll
done
say
that
this.
before?
Shout out to those two guys. But we hung out at not Adepticon. We hung out at Nova last year. Delightful guys, and I thought, what a well-written, funny. Like there was some nice little quips in there that I appreciated. I thought it was really well written. Thought they did a great job.
I'll have to read it.
And I mean, they do possibly. I mean, Ben, you'd probably agree with
The
me.
worst bat reps on YouTube.
The best bat reps we've ever seen.
Wow.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I wouldn't check them out. You probably never heard of them. I reckon
How
if you
dare.
play Kill Team, you probably never heard of them.
I think they must be the biggest.
Check them out.
I think they're the biggest Kill Team channel going right now.
I think they're crushing it, dude. They're crushing it.
Yeah,
They're doing really well, doing some cool stuff, starting to do some 40k stuff as well, branching out, doing some slow growth stuff. I also watched their video the other day. They're like, obviously, it's a very good one for a lot of people out there. They're talking about like learning to paint good but fast, you know, and like what to sacrifice and what to think about. It was actually a good, informative video. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to
read this now because we're
slow
in the
and
middle of a
terrible.
podcast,
but you know.
Maybe you should bring a video out.
Nah.
Painting badly and slowly.
Slowly.
Follow along with me, folks.
My magnus opus of YouTube videos. It's an inspiration to the people, really. I'm just giving the people what they, you know, it's like you hold up the mirror, people see themselves in my painting. That's what they see.
Well, they hate it so much.
What we're going to do for those watching live, you'll get to watch us reading the Warcom article. There we go. It's on
wow.
Isn't that exciting, dude? Isn't that so exciting?
It's a treat. It's what did you say, Ben? I missed you. What did you say?
I said, I don't even know what I said. I said, isn't that a treat? I think that's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is, Ben. It's a treat. I mean, I don't know if you can even see it. This is like the sound effects, probably. But what we're going to do, we're going to walk through this article because it actually does have some really, really cool insights. There's some character data sheets we can actually see. There's some reveals. You know, there's some bits and pieces. So we'll break down what they've given us here. And I guess share our thoughts on what we sort of think. I did like that the faction rules they've equated to high stakes whack-a-mole. So we've been hypothesizing, talking about the rumors, obviously, that the Raveners are known for their burrowing and their digging techniques under the battlefield, and we get to see a bit of that here, and they kind of go into some detail. So the tunnel is basically the way they move around. It's a path that they carve across the battlefield. In each turning point, that tunnel gets extended up to 5 inches. So it covers that's a fair bit of ground each turn. And then there's an action that the team can do on top of that, which is called burrow. And basically means they can pop in and out of that tunnel, costs them at the expense of 2 inches of movement and an AP. But of course, don't forget that the units in this kill team are 3 APL and 7-inch movement natively. So doesn't hurt them as much as you might think. That's still a whole bunch of mobility. I'll quickly just read the burrow rules so we're all on the same page. So basically, burrow costs you 1 AP. If this operative is underground, set it up on your tunnel in a location it can be placed. It's considered no longer underground and can be set up within control range of enemy operatives.
Ooh, that's huge.
Important to note. And until the end of the activation, as we said, counteract, subtract 2 from its move stat. Alternatively, instead of resolving the above effect, if this operative is in the kill zone and on your tunnel, remove it from the kill zone and it's now considered underground. And then there's a nice little picture thing there showing you exactly how you might move around the battlefield. It's a pretty big thing. When I look at this though, do you guys remember when ITD was first coming out and there was all the talk of like being able to blow holes in walls and everyone was getting all excited, and then within like a week they were like, you can't do that anymore? Is there shades of this could potentially feel a bit broken in certain settings? Just looking at this,
just busting up through the floor. Yeah, I'm hyped for this, dude. This has the potential to be really strong. I feel like this is such a crazy ability. And on Into the Dark, like I'm sure we'll get into it, touch on it later, but like on Vulcus, maybe sometimes the board is so wide that maybe you really have to probably be careful where you put your token down because they can play around. But like on ITD, you know where they're going to go. And so womp, you just throw 3 bugs, 4 bugs, whatever, as many bugs as you can into that room. And it's like, well, I know where you're going to be, and I'm going to slam these giant bugs down your throat. So super good.
I mean, potentially being able to come up on the other side of a door and have the door still be closed for your opponent. I mean,
that's an interesting
that's going to be
point
lovely.
too.
So it's like you've got a model in their back lines and they still haven't opened the door, and you're just ripping through that. I mean, it's lovely. It's a lovely little idea.
It's an interesting thing too. Like we talked about, Volcus, ITD, Beta Decima. It'll be interesting too because obviously we're still some of the interactions on those battlefields. We were talking in the green room about Beta Decima. How's that going to work? Is it going to be maybe a bit of a bit quite hampered with it if this is a big core rule for your team and it doesn't work that well, say on Beta Decima? Not that too many people play it, let's be honest. But hypothetically, if you're like me and you draw it 3 times in a row at a tournament, it could be quite a negative thing, or does it, or is it we're just not sure, until you see it on the battlefield, because we did talk as well about that. It couldn't technically let you lock down one whole side of the board quite easily because the tunnel can only go one way.
I kind of feel like as a community we should rally and get rid of Beta Decima.
Yeah.
Like
down?
I still think we should just be like, I don't know, I might be the only person, but every time I draw Beta Decima I was like, oh my god, yeah, sure, we'll play. But like having a lock, or like it should come with like 2 heavy barricades and like your 2 light barricades as per normal. But I just
like a consolation prize. So sorry you have to play. Here's some barricades.
Yeah, it should come with like a drink and some crisps or something to be like, here you go.
We don't even use it here in the States. Like in tournaments, we don't even use it.
I played a tournament recently where I played 2 of my 3 games on Beta Decima, and I was up for being the 3rd, and I was like, oh, please. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because obviously, I don't know what it reads, but I'm going to assume you can't burrow. I don't know. I'm assuming you can't burrow into the water because if you come up, you're dead, right? So it's going to be weird because there's 3 tracks, middle or either side. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because once you commit, presumably, because you have to sequentially do them within 5. Yeah. So it's going to be you pick a route and there you're going down that route. So if you pick a route and then they just go all the other way, it's going to be interesting. But I guess
you could tunnel under the water as long as you don't pop up.
I have no idea. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, you think so?
Would that be
what if you flood the tunnel? What if you flood the tunnel? No,
there's only one way to find out. Just drop a grenade down the tunnel. Where's that kind of Vietnam action where they found the tunnel and they drop a grenade down there and put the lid back on? I don't know.
So do you think you'd be able to tunnel under the water, just not come up?
It's an interesting.
I reckon so, unless there's some weird unless maybe Beta Decima has some rule about cannot place tokens on the toxic water.
It's
maybe
one of those
something
things
like that.
where it's I don't know if I've ever read. Shall I read it now? Should we do it live? Shall I have a look at the see it says anything about Beta Decima?
Yeah, please. Have a look at the Beta Decima rules of token placement. Yeah, because it's just because it's
the right book.
Yeah, because you're technically not. You're not moving across it, and I remember from what I can vaguely remember, that's usually what it's talking about, that you can't move across. But
no part of your base can be on it, can it?
I told you,
Beta Decima.
The Beta Decima. Yeah, the Beta Decima versus ITD rules of blowing walls up. It's like it sounds great until someone breaks it. Until someone goes, "I'm going to do this," and everyone goes, "Well, it doesn't say you can't do it." So therefore,
it doesn't say you can't. You've got restricted movement, which just says no part of an operative base can be touching a hazardous area. When selecting,
Nah, we've already broken the game, and they're not even out yet.
Good golly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to say you can't put anything on a hazardous area, just no part of a base can go through it. So yeah,
nowhere in the rules does it say that a golden retriever can't play basketball.
That's I'm saying. It's not under bylaw 17.31. Nothing. Okay. Well, yes.
But
Yeah, let's
But that-
camp out here for a little longer. This is really the meat and potatoes. Let's camp out here for a little while.
Sit up, relax in your chairs, recline, chat. So, but that means you potentially spend some time in the water, and you presumably you got to place them. What does it say about placing them? Does it tell us about the placing of them?
We've only got at the moment. It's just all we've got here in today's rules is just about that. That they can pop up and pop in from the tunnel, but
Carry on then.
Yeah,
Scratch that.
Nothing that would destroy our theories is all I'm saying.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Moving along. They touch on here too. With predatory instincts, which is giving the Raveners the ability to fight twice per activation. It also allows them to change their order and burrow for free during counteracts. So,
that's nuts.
That's lovely.
And the combo they've highlighted here is a Ravener charges 9 to tie up a couple operatives, dispatches them in melee, survives, takes one shot, and then as a counteract, gets to shoot back and hop underground again. Not bad. That's pretty potent.
Crazy.
We thought that's basically a triple kill as opposed to the old double kill in a movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or imagine you charge, 2 or 3 models or whatever, and then you get to, fight 2 and then counteract, kill the third, pop down, or just nuts, dude. Like the possibilities for the tunnel rules, kind of nuts, dude. It seems like a team really wants to stay on the tunnel. So I imagine that might be sort of the mini game is how do I play this game on or near this tunnel? But my God, some of the possibilities seem very strong.
So does it say does it have the full burrow rule there?
Yeah, well, it's got like the 1 AP action of burrow. Yes.
Does it have all the stipulations of that?
No, so it doesn't have in regards to like setting up rules of when and where. Like, there's only tidbits surrounding.
So I was thinking what Ben was saying. Yeah, so you can charge 2 people, but you're gonna have to make sure you're still, by the looks of things, on your tunnel if you want to.
Yeah, I can't imagine you could just run away, yoink all the way back.
It's unlikely you're gonna be able to charge 2 models and then get back in your tunnel if you've charged off them. But the possibilities are pretty exciting.
If you get to pick where that tunnel goes, like does it say when the tunnel when the placing of that happens in the round?
Not at the moment. No, it just says at each turning point the tunnel can extend up to 5. So I'm assuming it'll be the very start. It'll be the first thing you do.
I would, if I had to warrant a guess, maybe the strategic phase or something. But maybe as a strategic gambit or something. So the potential is very strong. Yeah, very strong.
We also get to see an operative. We get one of the data sheets here for the Ravener Venom Spitter. As we knew,
tell me more.
APL 3 moves.
Tell me
7.
exactly what we've been shown.
Yes, exactly.
Only that.
On the screen. 5 up save and 20 wounds. So definitely it's an interesting breakpoint with the 20 wounds and the 5 up save there. Because it's that's such a unusual. We haven't seen this before. Elite teams are usually lots of wounds and high armor saves, but we've only got 5 ups here.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's
that 5 up worries me. A 5 up set. I know it's 20 wounds, but a 5 up worries me because you've got elite shooting twice and
bolters are gonna kill you. Bolters. I imagine
nasty.
I imagine bolters will eat you for lunch.
It's like weight of fire, like consistent weight of fire. 3, just being a double, like Space Marines double tapping. You're gonna put through a lot of wounds there.
Legionaries, the new Legionaries.
Oh God Almighty!
Shooting with Zinch is going to be... Oh, no, not Zinch, but, you shoot as Undivided and run Zinch, and you've got a whole bunch of relentless guns within 6. It's going to be...
With rending and, severe and crazy stuff. Whatever the stack they have now.
Yeah. But that's a nice stat line for... I mean, it's uncomplicated melee, but with 5 attacks...
You're an assault intercessor. Yeah.
I was going to say,
we're with a 9-inch charge. That's kind of sick.
Yeah. The averages are you're going to get 3 hits through, and with 4 or 5 damage, even if they parry 1, or even they've got shock or something, you're still getting 8 damage through, like between 8 and 10 if you've rolled really hot. that's that's killing all but elites, basically.
Yeah.
So you don't need it to be too complicated. That's a lovely stat.
And the
I'm
one
I'm not gonna lie, I
Hmm.
was hoping for rending
Yeah.
on the melee
Ooh,
profiles.
like
I was
standard.
hoping for a bit of ceaseless because they're like
Yeah.
the Gene Stealers used to have ceaseless. I was like, there'll be rerolls in melee for days, is what I was thinking.
Now, if they're like, again, we haven't seen. I can't imagine they've shown us the full suite of ploys, but
No.
maybe there's some way to get rerolls. But like natively,
Doesn't seem like
you're gonna get diced. If this is all you got, you're gonna get diced. Like,
There'll be
how many
times.
times have you rolled like two hits on 5 dice, and then
Yeah.
you die in your own activation? Like, so
Yeah.
I was hoping for rending. I don't see rending here, and hopefully there's some sort of way to get rerolls because like without it, it's sort of a tough life.
You've got to assume they'll link something in to give you some sort of because I know we're still thinking it might have to get buffed, but and I hate to pull us back to Angels of Death, but Angels of Death duelist.
Oh god,
it's not enough to go against one of their assault intercessors, and you really expect a Ravener, and we don't know if the Venom Spitter because it seems to be their shooty model, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It does seem
maybe
to be their
this
shoot
is
operative.
Yeah. This might not be their indicative of their melee units, but still, I mean, that's assault. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to be much better because 5 attacks hitting on 3s, 4-5 is lovely.
Yeah.
It's just maybe not enough to make sure you're going to kill an assault in. And because they outmodel you, you kind of need to be able to go 1-for-1 into an elite. And that stat line to me doesn't seem like it does. Like necessarily. I mean, it could do, but you're really heavily reliant on the rolls. An assault intercessor can take jeweler and just play the averages, I think.
What models out there in close combat can deal out 20 wounds in one round? There's no one, is there? Is anyone
The Anointed?
An Anointed?
no,
Yeah.
because he's 4-5. No. He's
Oh,
4-5.
4-5.
Corn Anointed maybe. Yeah, Corn Anointed would go into
yeah.
5-6.
First
But even
attack.
then, that's tough. What comes to mind for me is the captain for Angels of Death.
Ooh, okay.
And because he's got 5-7 hitting on 3s, brutal. That brutal is going to do a lot of work.
Yeah, 5-7.
But probably not in one shooting attack or one fighting attack.
One
Because
fighting, yeah.
you're going to charge in. Let's say he gets 4 hits, right? 4 hits. You maybe have 1 crit that you can parry out. But like he can spend 1 CP for shock, right? So he's I think probably he's the guy who could get the job done better than somebody else because you 4-tap him.
I just think sometimes, when you're playing like Felgor and it's like the one thing you don't want to beat is the person that charges, and then you lose your operative on your charge because then obviously you don't get your, and it would be the same for these guys. It was like, oh yeah, I got that charge off, I can fight twice, and you run into something and get one-shotted effectively or die, or as you said, you diced yourself pretty bad. You just have a terrible roll and cop a power fist in the face 4 times. It would be pretty hard. It's the chance is there.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're pretty solid. I think when I talk about they're not going to be able to take out an assault, I'm just thinking because he's going to parry out and praise to the God Emperor. He's not killing one; he's just parrying out, disappearing, and then they can double shoot him, and he can move back and shoot him reliably with a P1 pistol or a piercing crits pistol. You know what I mean? So I think that's how they would do it. They wouldn't want to tussle with you in combat. I'd like to see them into a full like melee team, like the new Gauls, to see how the Gauls would do. Because that would be because they arguably don't have shooting punch, so they're going to have to get the job done in combat. And
here's the thing about them: they kind of do though. Like their leader hits on 2s. Like so, I put on the receiving end of this. The leader hits on 2. You've got the rending pistol. One. You have a rending ceaseless pistol guy out there with like severe, like pretty crazy. That pops off with ceaseless, and then you have some person has like these lethal 5 daggers that they can throw those as with wrist chains. Those pop off. So like you have to be careful. So I think Goremongers actually could surprisingly do okay here.
I was gonna say I don't think they lose. Well, they're gonna come towards you as well. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt if you're into this team that this team is going to try and hit melee. I mean, again, the only profile does have a fair amount of shooting, to be fair. And it's got that cool distend dorsal sack, which seems to give you infinite range on this blast 2, piercing 1 potential weapon, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sick, dude.
that's
so
pretty
yeah, so
exciting.
you've got the Venom Bolt, which has 2 profiles, a blast and a focused. In the blast, it's 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3/5, range 8, blast 2, and poisons, which was like obviously we've seen poison before, giving
Not
out
as good
poison
though, is it?
tokens. Well, D3
Slightly worse because it's only critical successes, whereas I think
Mm,
Plague Marines it's just any success, right?
Ooh, interesting. So you really
Yeah,
want that
so
lethal
it's
5 up.
yeah. So it's
mm.
but which obviously the Distend Dorsal Zac seems to give, but yeah, it's not
Yep.
quite as potent, which I guess makes sense because
And
Plague Marines are the Poison Kings.
they're full blown,
Kinda makes
and
sense.
all of them poisoned
Yeah.
all of the time. And you said, yeah, you've got
Yeah.
the focus, which is similar, gets you an extra pip of regular damage, gives you piercing 1 instead of the blast. And then, as Russ was saying, there isn't 1 AP action, which is Distend Dorsal Sac, sexy, and that gives the operative
Yeah.
lethal 5 up, adds 1 to the attack stat, and takes away the range. So basically, turns it into that's a very, very good gun at full range, and a 3 APL operative.
Yeah.
We
5
compare it
attacks. Crazy.
compare it to
yeah.
like a sniper operative who's gonna sit still and can,
Mm.
like a lot of the other ones where they can focus or whatever the thing is that's gonna give them those added bonuses. A 3 APL, you don't feel that pinch as much, for sure. That's a good shooting attack.
I'm surprised it's 3s. Like that seems like surprisingly good. Like I
These
get
guys
that
are
there 5
apex
operatives.
predators, bro.
I was gonna
These are
say I think it's
apex
because
predators.
it's a 5T. It's elite. If they hit on 4s, you'd just be like, I'm not gonna bother. 50-50 shot. But like hitting on 3s is like okay. Like that's some solid shooting. I like it.
Yeah.
We've got a ploy here that we can see as well. So
This is the money shot right here.
called Writhe Out of Sight. Select 1 friendly Ravener operative. That friendly operative can immediately perform a free burrow action. If it's within 2 inches of your tunnel, it can also immediately perform a free fallback or reposition action before it does so. So get in
is
there.
this sorry, Reese. Is this
Go
a strategic ploy or a firefight ploy? Do we know yet?
Gray is always strategic ploys. Unless they're trying to trick us. It's gray for strategic ploys and black for firefight ploys. So whether or not they flip the script on us.
So that would lead
assume
us
it's
to
strategic.
believe this happens in the strategic phase.
Yes.
And if
I would
that's
assume so.
true, boy, this could really let you do some funky things depending on who wins initiative.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. So if this happens in the strategic phase, like we speculate that it might, boy, you lose initiative, you yoink back down into your tunnel. Or
and
if you win, you like, gosh, dude, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Because the way it seems to be read, you could have this. You could turn 1, have some guy go really far forward, like maybe even charge someone, and they're like, okay, they gearing to absolutely destroy this character. They've lined up the melter, and then it comes to this turn, you lose initiative, and you're like, he's going back in. It doesn't matter as long as you're within 2 inches of the tunnel. It looks like you could immediately fall back and blip into your tunnel, and they're like, I've got no targets. Set everyone up to target you.
Or if you win initiative.
Or if you win.
If you win, man, I imagine, again, like we don't know, I guess, the exact timing of when these tunnel tokens go down.
This is the big thing.
But like to be able to like if I think it is pretty safe to assume that it might be as a strategic gambit. We see a lot of faction rules happen that way, or like maybe when priorities determine, who knows, like how it's going to play out. But if you get initiative and like you have some control over that, you get to place your token somewhere and then be able to yeet out. Like, oh man, it's nuts, dude. It's crazy. If you have somebody on the line somewhere that's not where you need him to be, you just have him yoink out, and then Burrow lets you pop out, right? Is that what they're saying as well?
Yeah, you can do.
So you can just reposition somebody potentially 15 inches apart, like it's some crazy lay. Like that's nuts. That's pretty nuts.
There's some. Well, I guess that's already starting to show how powerful it could be. And as you said, the timing of when the tunnel moves. Can you catch the tunnel up to someone? Like there's some interesting.
Maybe.
Like they've charged.
Who knows?
Away
It's
tunnel.
interesting.
Would I get to move the tunnel up to that guy? Like if he's only within 5 inches, move the tunnel and then get him to
7.
dig in. Yeah.
Only needs to be 7 inches with this
7? There you go.
rule.
Yeah,
That gives you a bit of leeway, doesn't it?
So I'm like, does that mean you could have that encouragement to be a bit more aggressive, and then the tunnel will catch up? I don't know. But I like the sound of it. I mean, that's
I
not
wonder
how
if you
it
have
should
to.
work.
I wonder if you. And it wouldn't make any sense. I was like, I wonder if you have to have operatives off board to advance the tunnel.
Oh,
Like, that'd be-
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting.
It'd be interesting. Be like, if everyone's like popped up, you can't advance the tunnel because no one's digging. But I think not, because that would be weird. But that would be funky, wouldn't it? If they're like, someone's got to be under down,
That makes
literally digging
sense.
away.
That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah,
That would
otherwise,
be
who's
cool.
tunneling? Who's peddling?
Who's tunneling, guys?
Operative number 6. Operative number 6, Vinny.
Oh, they are.
Vinny is
six
Vinny the tunneler. He's down there. He's tunneling.
Quickest
It's
one
Vinny.
to build
That's what he
in the
does.
box. Quickest one to build.
He
in
would
the
come up
box.
and fight, but he's just got little spade paddles for hands, so he's useless. He just kind of flails, and they're just like, "This is honestly,
Stop
Vinny,
it.
this isn't doing
Stop
it for us." Yeah, it's just creeping me out, if anything. And he's like, I think that's how it
there
works.
is a section here as well that they do touch on what we were talking a bit about. 20 wounds with 5 up saves means that they are vulnerable to high volume fire and chip damage, but they can balance this out. Tunnel Lurkers is a strategy ploy that pairs extremely well with Chromatospore camouflage equipment. So there's an equipment.
Kind of embarrassing. You couldn't say that right from the first try, Reese.
Sorry, that's
Dude,
Well,
do you want to? Let's just do
That's
a
a
cut.
pretty easy word. Yeah, that's
Take
a
a
pretty
breath.
easy word. Yeah.
Give it another try,
I'm gonna
mate.
have a good
Just
hard look at
kind of
myself after
embarrassing.
this. Definitely.
Yeah.
just center yourself.
All of a sudden,
Chromatospore.
those 5 up saves aren't so bad because it means from those two things,
got this.
we're just piecing it together.
Yeah.
They're retaining 2
This is a
saves
mental back
before
rub.
rolling any dice. So they've basically got the double retain, which is not bad. And we know,
Yeah.
like in the current sphere, there's a
Do
lot
we?
of cover out there. It's not too hard to
Yeah.
find some light or heavy cover. So a double retain's not bad.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool, I'd say.
Now, they also touch on the Tremor Scythe, which is another one of the big scary operatives, and this looks like someone who's definitely going to get some re-rolls on their stabby things, because he looks scary. He looks like he gets re-rolls.
Oh, this guy has rending claws.
There you go.
Surely, yeah, this guy's
Look at them.
Oh, hey,
they look rending,
hey,
right? They
hold
look
on.
rending.
Does the other guy have rending claws, or he just has the pokey sticks?
Oh, he's got...
Are you talking about the three claws versus the scything? Oh, scything talons. And
Yeah, I
rending
wonder if there's going to
claws.
be a different attack profile for
past
those.
them.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
that's
Just scything talons.
Yeah. What does it say? What's it say? Well, let's read what it says. The Tremor Scythe operative is a nasty piece of board control, as you can keep the Raveners underground to maintain the threat of an outrageous charge and interrupt any enemies foolish enough to stray too close to the tunnel. Don't underestimate the length of the tunnel either in a straight line. It can get well into enemy territory. This team may struggle for board presence in the early game. It can suffer if they lose an operative early, but all of the tunnel synergy and explosiveness in combat will be enough to turn the tide of the battles. Okay, they said nothing about what the operative does, but the picture looks great.
Looks cool.
Yeah,
And
and he's
I
got,
reckon-
because Tyranid Warriors, sorry, there are the Gene Stealers for Kill Team. There was rending claws and scything talons, right?
Or the
Mm.
combo of both, yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if you have some leeway on like what combat stats you get. Like, I wonder if you change them out.
Mm.
That could be kind of cool.
Ooh, bit of building in there. Big shout out quickly to Mabase as well. Subscribe for 10 months. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
Thank you,
there.
Mabase.
Nice.
In the chat. Well, moving on. That's enough of the Tyranids, and there's been a few people calling for this in the chat. We're talking the Battleclade. I didn't think many people were hyped about these guys. The closer it's getting to the release date, I think people they're the slow grow, the Battleclade. I think maybe they're not as vocal as the Tyranid fans, but I think there's more and more people that are here for the Battleclade than I realized.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the opinions are pretty binary on this box. Would you say?
Oh,
High five. High five. I like some of the models actually. Yeah.
Me too.
I like the guy with a little tentacle coming out his hand. Yeah. I like that guy.
Yes, it's got the
Tentacle Thomas.
Tactical Thomas. It's interesting. These guys, we don't get quite as much in terms of straight out rules in this article from this. We get lots of little tidbits. We get the tip. First off, most of the operatives only a 5-inch move, so we know that they're slow.
Ooh, slow boys. They're gonna be
Slow
tough.
boys.
I wonder if they're gonna be durable then.
You got to
So-
assume they're going to be tougher than your average fast boy.
These guys look like they play
Yeah,
you know,
you got to assume that.
Polar opposites in terms of a lot of what they do. They touched on here as well. One of the only one faction rule, the Battleclade's new spheric network.
Nailed it.
basically,
Good work on that one, dude. Good work.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't think we give Reese enough credit for some of these words. They're tough.
Yeah, that's a hard one, dude.
Plus, he's Australian, so there's the distinct
handicap.
issue.
He's coming in with a handicap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Network. Crikey.
No spheric.
No spheric.
I know. No spheric.
No.
Oh,
Crikey,
no.
mate. Crikey.
You flaming galah. Anyway.
Oh no. But basically what this lets them do, it lets the servitors, it looks like there's 8 in the team, they can share their APL around. So
Is there only 8 models?
Well, so 8 servitor models. There's more in the team, obviously, but 8 of the actual.
Had me worried there for a second.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that would be.
8 servitors can spend 1 AP to allow a fellow servitor to network counteract and perform a 1 AP action for free with some restrictions. Doesn't say exactly.
What are the restrictions?
Pray tell, what are the
Doesn't say.
restrictions?
Yeah.
Doesn't say.
Illuminate us. Oh,
It's a
Reese. What can they not do?
Praise be the Omnisci, but I don't know. So basically, but I guess what it's doing is, giving you the option. We've seen it a bit with like the horror tech and all that sort of stuff, where there's a bit like command and those sort of things, where being able to do things out of cycle is kind of cool, because if your opponent goes, well, that operative's activated, I can kind of forget about them for a little bit. This gives you that counteract throughout, which is pretty handy.
Have we seen the models for this team? Do we know what operatives they have?
No, they haven't released them yet. They haven't released them yet.
And the only data card
don't go to the article. The article definitely doesn't show them off.
Does it actually?
The models for this team?
Yeah.
Yeah, GW showed them off at length. What's wrong with you?
So. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know every single individual model. Hero shots, close-ups of every single model.
Okay, cool. So like, but that rule looks. Scroll back up to the new Spheric network.
Sorry.
Because that seems pretty good. Like that seems like you can.
Yeah.
I just want to read it before I say anything else.
Yeah.
You know what? Because I don't.
Hey, yeah. You better read it again.
I don't know what network counteract means. So, but let's say that sounds like it's a counteract.
Someone says something at the bottom of the article about it. Is it this the
8 servitor model? Because
it's a little joke.
I was gonna say, if New Spheric, if it's a counteract, then that sounds like you can
shoot,
you can
fight,
force
move,
them to
tap.
Can you like force them to counteract? Which means like potentially if they've got big gunners, right? Because they've got the same as the Inquisition.
They've got two of the. They've got 2 of the.
It'd be interesting because obviously you're generally restricted, aren't you, by movement? Because I imagine they're heavy dash,
2-inch
right?
Move,
or heavy so you'd be like move, but like potentially if you can force them to counteract, maybe you can get some movement with them, and then maybe you can shoot multiple times, assuming you're given a shot.
It says there's restrictions. I wonder if it's
I was going to say
tech.
If they're like you can't do the big guns, that would be bad for them.
That would suck.
Like,
that'd be bad. I wouldn't like that very much.
That does sound like you can,
Yeah,
it does sound like you could know. Yeah,
it does sound like
almost.
Brother, you're telling me. You're telling me.
Sounds good.
Interesting.
Like
I think I like that idea of it's like it's a different kind of setup. Like you're not playing to a counteract, but having potentially as opposed to maybe one operative that's going to get an Overwatch, you're basically saying you're going to have 6 or 7 operatives that will have a potential to shoot again or shoot for the first time if they when they might not have had the chance. So your positioning is going to be super interesting. And then you get an operative, as they've highlighted here, the Servitor Underseer.
Don't like the model.
You do or you don't like the model?
Don't like the model.
No, I'm with you.
I thought you said you hadn't even seen. Hold on, walk this back. I thought you said you hadn't seen the model. How could you? And maybe walk through this line of reasoning. How could you not like a model that you haven't seen?
I can see.
I'm just dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded right now. Actually, I'm you know what I'm going to do?
I'm going to play Writhe into Darkness and just. Disappear from that question. Based on the very
seen the models, let alone hold them in your hands yet. I don't know how you could have an opinion on whether you like them or not.
Based on that very small picture, I don't think I will like the model. Maybe I should correct myself. I don't think I will like the model.
For
Thank
those
you.
that don't
Thank you
know,
very much.
it is the Balloon Boy one. He's got the big bulbous balloon on his back.
I love this one.
So you are a fan, Ben. I'm not. I'm with you, Russ.
I love it.
I've seen it, Russ. And I'm a fan of it.
Have you seen it? Wow.
Pictures,
What's that like?
Yes. Pictures, right? Crazy.
You don't like? Okay, why?
Yeah. I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh.
This
guy's so cool.
But it is good that he's 3 APL. So he is 3 APL. So maybe the model's rules are very good.
Reese, I'll even say this. There's so little to go off of what this model looks like on the data card. I don't think you can really have an opinion on what he looks like. If you look at the data card we're looking at, but Russ hasn't. All you can see, it's like this.
I think I must have seen it somewhere else. I must have seen it somewhere else.
And Russ is like, I don't think I like that model.
I must have seen it somewhere else. Let's just say I've seen it somewhere else.
Unlike Russ, I
got my hands on it somehow.
Seen them.
Yeah, I think it looks great. From the pictures I have seen on Warcom, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
that must have been where I've seen it.
But I'll give you this. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's like it's very AdMech aesthetic, and maybe it's also I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the AdMech aesthetic.
I agree with you there.
General,
I'm with you there.
Very AdMech, which is cool, but it's
I love the servitors. I just don't like the ones that are like the weird. Sometimes I don't like, and I like the big fat guy that floats that isn't in this team, AdMech. I just don't specifically this model that I now remember having seen in full somewhere then. I'm just not a fan.
Kind of jog your memory.
I like. Thank you for the pictures. But I have,
Dr. Zero Hours got remember. You back, saving you from yourself.
I do remember having seen them.
The doctor. Thank you, doctor.
The doctor got me, but yeah, no, I'm just not a fan of this one with the big hunchback. I'm not a big fan. I like the one with the big belly, but less of the hunchback. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the hunch.
Depends
I like the
servitors.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the servitors. I think they look cool.
Now, as Russ highlighted, this guy does have 3 APL. So, and we know that there are 2, I guess, technical leader operatives for the AdMech. So it's going to be interesting to see what different dynamic roles they play. But 3 APL.
Hold on, walk that back. Just he has 3 APL, right? Do the servers, I imagine, do we have a server data sheet to look at?
We do not have a servitor data sheet to look at. I'm
okay,
assuming
but we could
almost guaranteed there too. Almost guaranteed.
Probably 2 APL, yeah. I feel like it's a safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the Battleclade servitor, so 3 up save and 9 wounds. So surprisingly tough. The bubble must be tough on the old backpack there. That's surprising.
3 up save is good.
Yeah.
Who has it? Hold on. I'm sorry. Who has a 3 up save?
The model that Russ has never seen.
Whoa, that's sick, dude. That's sick. Yeah. That's sick, actually.
Oh, Dr. Zero Hour is saying Imperial Agent Servitor is 1 APL. Is that correct?
Yeah.
He activates within range of another operative and becomes 2 APL.
Oh, so does that
mean I'd be very surprised if they did that rule here, because the rule they've already showcased, New Spheric Sphere, says you can give an APL to another APL, and it's does it say if it's an action point to do? Because otherwise, how would you do that? I don't think you'd be. I think I'd be very surprised if they were 2 APL, and I don't think I will be surprised.
You think they're not going to be 2 APL?
I think they will be. That's what I mean. I'd be very surprised if they were 1.
To have a whole team at 1 APL, and
that's a team that's
losing
every game.
Yeah, that
seems pretty strong to me.
50 wounds, 0 APL team incoming. They just stay still. That's what Lapscallion said.
It's a great unclean one.
So now 2 weapon profiles here. Master crafted radiant pistol, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2-4, range 8, balance rending, and then a dark spike, 3 attacks, hitting on 5s, 2-3. So obviously not a close combat specialist. This is obviously a support character. So we've got a New Spheric Spur. So 1 APL. Select 1 friendly Battleclade servitor within 6 of either this operative or a friendly Battleclade auto proxy. Now remember the name of that operative, because that comes up quite a bit.
That's in the bank.
Yeah, bank that, because this auto
Maybe you've
proxy
seen this one, Russ.
seems like a pretty important operative to the team. and they immediately perform a free dash action. You cannot select each friendly servitor operative for this rule more than once per turning point. So
I'm just going to say this. I just feel like I would hate to play this team. I feel like this is just the wrong team for Ben Campbell. This is a lot. It seems, just from what I've seen from this article and this article alone, seems like I would have a hard time clicking with this faction.
Is it because that's making you do things beyond kill, Ben? Is it because you're having to line them
it's
up?
making me. Yeah, what's a synergy? That's a expensive word for a Florida man.
Yeah. We've also got Network Override, which is another support. Select one friendly operative within 6, and same again using the auto proxy operative as well, and can immediately network counteract, but you don't have to transfer the APL to do so. So this is another way.
I mean, that would be
yeah,
that'd be terrible if it already costs you an AP to do it, to then have to spend an AP. A 1 AP action that's 2 AP. Yeah, I mean that's just.
It would be pretty wild to double tax you. But at 3 APL, I mean, you could potentially, with this operative, move and do both of those actions. So another two out of sequence moments with the character. And I'm assuming too, does that mean also you could be making one of the guys dash, and then that same operative, you could also make them shoot again, if I'm reading that correctly?
The different options, aren't they?
Yeah, different to say that it changes it. Yeah. You'd have to check the. Seems to be legit.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting. Getting to
dude,
moving out,
and it sounds like you move this auto proxy that's a proxy for the servitor underseer forward with your guys. Hope that he's decent in combat, or at least can take a punch, and then use him. By the looks of things, it's a decent idea.
So I'm with you though, Ben. Like this, from what we've seen with this article and other bits and pieces that have been floating around, it does seem that this is it's a tech team. It is like a higher tech, and those
Wormblade kind of vibes.
Wormblade.
Yeah,
it's
this has got like Slater written all over it.
Yes,
this has got Slater. This team reeks of Slater. You
we
know
should
what I mean?
have had him on to talk about it, shouldn't we?
Yeah. He's traveling the world again, like he always is. On his stories, I'm just like, I'm in Germany this week. I'm in Hawaii. I'm like, dang, dude, go get it. But yeah, like this seems like a team that he would be all about. That's my guess. Yeah.
If you're good at the game, you'll be good at this team. So we're all out. We're done. We're out.
And so, do we know what they shoot on? Do we know what the hit stat is for these operatives?
Now, I did read ahead a little bit earlier, and it is offhand thrown out there. The strongest guns on this team all hit on 4s.
Ooh. So they must have access to good rerolls then, right?
So that's what this next ability here, Noospheric Possession, is talking about. And again, this is strategy phase ploy. Strat ploy. Whenever friendly Battleclade operative is within 6 inches of, again, our auto proxy comes up, or the servitor underseer, this gives them accurate 1. So all of a sudden, much better for your shooting guys. Getting that is not bad. For the purpose, this is the one that I thought was quite interesting though. I don't know too many times or ploys that have tied in generic equipment to your team, but for the purpose of this support rule and the comms device equipment, the auto proxy or servitor underseer operative must control your comms device marker to add 3 to the distance required for the rule.
So it doesn't have to be coming from.
I don't think we've ever seen that. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I think it's because you can get it from 2 different operatives, and that doesn't often happen. And so maybe the Hierotek, but they don't have it. It's not a support ability. Whereas this is saying either the guy who's doing it, or because you can do it through the auto proxy, the bubbles around this guy and this guy. So if either one of them are on the comms unit, because otherwise you would just be like, well, who is on the comms unit? Who benefits from the comms unit? Whereas it specifies either of them can be.
So
not bad.
It's interesting. So there you go. That might be interesting to say that. Yeah, so it's unusual. I haven't seen too many times where they've called out a specific universal equipment to your team. But yeah,
makes sense.
Then we've got another photo. I'm not sure if it's going to tell us anything exciting about him, but it's the techno-archaeologist who is the actual leader of the pack. Do we get anything? He's
I mean,
the
I
thing-
think based on the picture alone, we could probably guess everything about him.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Accurately?
I'd feel
think so.
confident, Russ, now you've seen
Let's-
that model, you would know so much.
Now that you've seen it for the first time with your
Yeah.
own human eyes.
I'm gonna. Shall I make a prediction about?
Please.
No, I won't make. I reckon he's got a cool looking scanner.
Well,
Woo!
yes.
Baby does he. Boy does he. And how?
Well, we get
I wonder.
some other, as they've put it, other pieces of scrap code. We can see another strategic ploy here. Once per action, you can use the command or reroll firefight ploy for 0 CP if the attack or defense dice was rolled for a friendly Battleclade operative that contests an objective marker or one of your mission markers.
I sure hope they get another way to get some rerolls because that has a lot of restrictions on it.
Yeah,
Well,
it is every action though. So
Yeah, once
potentially
per
that's your
action,
shoot
yeah.
action, your fight action. So it's a lot of potential rerolls, as assuming you are contesting a control marker. So if you know you're gonna be, maybe it's worth it. Because then if you're gonna fight and shoot, I can't imagine there's many of them that are 3 APL though. So maybe that's. Oh, I guess if you're retaliating.
Mm.
Yeah,
It was
maybe.
interesting when my brain skipped
Stack up.
over that once per action at first, and when I read that, I was like, "Isn't this just a command reroll?" But no, it gets much better once you add in once per action. It's a bit nicer.
Yeah.
And I guess you're wanting to go up, push up, and
Full
contest on
team.
objective markers or mission markers. So, yeah,
But you really
All
want
right.
ceaseless hitting on fours with your big gun minimum, don't you?
Yeah.
To be
honestly.
able to pump out some damage. Because accurate 1, I'm never a massive fan, especially if there's some special rule that hits on a 6 or on a
Yes.
crit. You need it. Like if you got shock with one of the guns, you're going to be like, well, do I want to take accurate or do I want to try and, I don't know. It's always a weird one.
Hitting on 4s is yeah, because as you said, that
As a
fixes,
Vespid player.
fixes one. How's it feel, Russ?
Yeah.
We've
It
also
hurts.
got neurocyclic reserve cells. After this is an equipment. After revealing this equipment option, roll 1d3 a number of times during the battle equal to that result. Whenever you transfer power, you can use this rule. If you do, don't subtract 1 from that operative's APL stat, but it cannot perform fight or shoot actions during that activation. That takes precedence over the normal Nospheric network rules. So
That's cool.
yeah, so
Yeah, it's not
obviously
bad.
that's tying into that so obviously that means I guess a unit could technically move, dash, and still handball some AP forward effectively, I guess, or
Yeah.
Pretty
moved-
sweet. Yeah.
move to an action as long as it's not going to fight. It means that it could let someone else. So you can see the tricksiness of that. I'm never a huge fan though of like if you take it, roll 1d3. Like if you're choosing to take that as one of your equipment, you should just get
Yeah.
3. Like I don't think anyone would be upset, right? Or pick a number. They can have 2. I don't know, like because that would be. I can guarantee if that's me, I'm getting 1 every time.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
That's kind of it. That looks like all we kind of get. We definitely didn't get as much on the Battleclade. I feel like they're still, and I think it's because they are a more complicated team, if you will.
Oh yeah, that's what my heart tells me.
Yeah, so I would
That's what
say
my heart
maybe
tells
they're
me.
a bit of a harder team to tease because there's a lot to all their things. And because I said if you've got, we sort of saw there, it's 8 different servitor options. We know that there's different loadout. There's melter guns. There looks like some flamer weapons. So it'd be interesting to see what distribution you can have of those kind of weapons.
Ooh,
with the
flamers.
team.
I imagine those flamers will hit on like maybe one better, 3s or something like that.
Hopefully, yeah. So
Maybe they're cool flamers. 3s, maybe even maybe
I was
even
say
2s.
Many flamers are 2s, aren't they? Are there any
Well,
flamers
yeah.
that hit on 3s? I think they're all 2s, aren't they?
If
So
it's a real
all-
flamer,
We've
who
seen
gets
some good
to take flamers?
I'm thinking of Inquisition. They have the Militarum flamer or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like 4
no, on
damage
this
or something
team.
ridiculous.
On this team, we've seen
There's in
there's
the
some flamers
pictures, some
bouncing
of
around?
the servitors are armed with what looks
Ah.
like a flamer hand. They look like they're
I reckon those
gloves.
will hit on 2s, and maybe that will help circumvent this little giant hitting on 4s problem that they may
Yeah.
have.
So,
But
they're
it
going
sounds
Dr. Zero
like
Hours
their
saying
best
they can
guns
take
hits before,
warriors
so.
for the team, take flamers or stubbers. There you go. So yeah, so stubbers as
Ah,
well.
that's
So,
fun.
but I'm assuming again, if you have a choice between hitting with less range but actually hitting versus having no range
Hitting
but
on
hitting on
fours,
Yeah.
fours, you're
potentially.
probably
I'm a
gonna
less
go,
ranger. Give me the
Yeah.
2s on 6 or 8,
close
however
quarters
close. Yeah.
combat. You're probably
Yeah.
going
And
to
the
want
way
the
that the
flamers.
team works, although they have operatives that are shooty, it kind of, it does still look like they're being designed to plod forward and sit on objectives. If that equipment's anything to go by, then you're encouraged to sit there.
Yeah.
There you go. Good Jeff saying they're called phosphor blasters. Are
That is brand new
the other
information.
ones? There you go.
Interesting.
So
Never
yeah,
would have
so
known that.
interesting mix. I'm excited. It's good to see that the pre-order window is obviously going this weekend. It's going
Yeah, it's
going
exciting.
live. So finally we'll be able to stop speculating soon, and we'll have a bit more firm information over the next couple of weeks, hopefully, so we can discuss in greater detail and break down the teams a little bit more. And I'm looking forward to doing that because that was a good sampler, a bit good tapas of some rules. But I think there's a lot to unpack for both teams.
Yeah, before we bounce Rooney out of here, what tac ops do you think these factions? Because that's a big thing. Somebody in the chat mentioned that. What would you speculate on tac ops? Like, it's hard to guess both, but like, I would imagine that Tyranids will get Seek and Destroy, right? Like, no world they don't get Seek and Destroy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
traditionally, 100% Seek and Destroy. 100%.
Yeah, traditionally the Nids have been in the last, like, I think it was Gene Stealers were Infiltrate, and so I'm guessing
that's what my heart tells me.
That's the two I'd say. Yeah, I'd say they get that, which means you because do we see the exact opposite? Are AdMech then going to be security and recon, or are they also?
They're an Imperium team, and what do we know about Imperium teams?
I don't think they'll be Seek and Destroy.
Imperium teams always get recon. It sucks, dude. That it's so good. It's brain dead. It's so good, and that you get that. Yeah, so I imagine they'll have recon, and I bet recon security. Yeah, that's my guess.
Then it's a nice balancing out of the teams.
Yeah,
it's exactly. You get one of each for the box set. Everyone gets a go.
A nice round. I like. See, it's like a nice little Rubik's cube where you
very
like
holistic.
Everything. Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, as we were sort of saying, when we will be doing some live reveal shows when we can, once it all goes live, we'll be doing our live coverage. So make sure you join us for those in the upcoming schedule. Keep your eyes out. Obviously, make sure if you're not already, join the Battle Brothers tabletop Discord. That's where we share all our schedule, and by that I mean we let you know 10 minutes before we go live. It's definitely worth jumping on.
All the time in the world.
All the time
in the world.
That lets you get a coffee, sit down. That's about it. But yeah, I'm excited. Lots to look forward to. I think we'll
so excited, man.
Yeah,
wrap it up.
I was going to say I think we'll be back in the the preview week to give you all the gossip, all the news, everything as it's coming out, so you can digest all that good stuff. Of the brand new team.
Before you get your hot little hands on the miniatures, exactly. Thank you as always to the chat. The chat was going crazy. Good Jeff, Dr. Zero Hour,
Godspeed, everybody.
Sandy, we got everyone. Jim Crimmins in there. Papa Krapken,
Jim Crimmins.
Thank you. We said so many legends. Thanks everyone over on YT as well. We appreciate you being in there as well. It's so great having YT. You're down with YT.
PYT.
Wow.
PYT over here.
Whoa.
Real skibbity head over here. Reese is going skibbity on us.
Look at you.
Reese goes skibbity.
What is this?
Hey,
who are you trying to be?
I think he's aura farming right now. Not
in a good way. It's going terrible.
Yeah.
It's not going right. Thank you as always to my wonderful co-hosts. Number one, Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop.
Wow.
Godspeed, everyone. Tossing it over to Russ from GFN Gaming.
Number two. Thanks very much. Loving it both. And back to you, Reese, for cyclopsing the hell out of this episode. Good
Yep.
job, sir.
Jeez,
Yep.
it was rugged. It was rough and rugged
Yeah.
early, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm loving it, dude. This is my favorite episode we've ever done for many reasons.
That was the best call.
My
out ever
reasons
by
are
the-
legion.
by the chat though. Ever just like if this wasn't live, I would have skipped this bit.
Best
You know,
comment.
which is funny to me. I understand it because like you're probably just a rational person with whatever. Like, but for me, when I listen to a podcast, I love the preambles.
You want the chaos?
That's my
Yeah.
favorite part. Is like I
a
like
bit of
hearing.
preamble as well.
Yeah, I love a good preamble. So that's interesting. Interesting to hear that. Yeah, which filters into my. There are two types of people in this world. You have there's three. There's truly three, but really there's two. You got your Kirks and you've got your Spocks. And
Interesting.
your Kirks, yeah. And then there's a third type. It's the Scotty.
Is it
There's a
both?
third type. It exists. It's Scotty. And Scotty does exist, but no, most of the time you either have Scots or you have Kirks or Spocks. One goes by feels, one goes very like analytical, and most people can be boiled down into these two archetypes. Experiment it in your own life. This is something I've been workshopping for many years, and
some people
yeah.
are Benz and they just want to watch the world burn.
And here's the thing: that the Kirks need the Spocks. They need each other.
Yeah.
And the Spocks also need the Kirks. Like
Do
it is they do. They really do. They really do, man.
I wonder.
Yeah. You can't be too analytical. You can be so analytical that you can't live life. You can't just go with your gut sometimes. They need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. Yeah. Anyway,
about
that's
that?
for free.
I think Ben's
Yeah,
just
for
calm,
free.
though.
And if you want more of that fantastic in-depth analysis and philosophies on life, make sure you join the Patreon as well. Ben's now doing a 28-part course called The Spock in Me. And it's a fantastic listen. Really change your life.
It's 4 hours of preamble, though, so be warned. It's only a 5-hour pod, so you know.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I'd do it. I'd do it if they want it. I'd do a solo pod for the. I'll stand on business right now. If you're a patron and you want a solo pod, I'll give it to you. I will do it.
It's Ben's mic just peaking for 45 minutes. Well, that's
so
that's
good.
all I need. My day's been fantastic. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening in the podcast, we really appreciate you having us in your ear holes. And those joining us live, we really appreciate watching back on the VOD as well. Thank you so much for dropping in. Make sure you like and leave some comments on the VODs as well. Helps to keep them ticking around so other people can find it as well. We're going to get the hell out of here. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
And another thing.